What's up everyone, it's Wolfman Vince. Ever since ArenaNet revealed Guild Wars 3, one of the biggest questions in the community has been, what races will we actually get to play? The trailer gives us some clues, but it also raises a lot of questions. We appear to have confirmed humans, we appear to have what looks like a coden, and we also see a small race that looks incredibly similar to the Asura. But what if there's more to the story? Today I want to break down what we see in the trailer, what the lore tells us, and why I think some surprising races, including something similar to the Sylvari, might still be possible. And before we get started, remember, this is just speculation based on existing lore. None of this has officially been confirmed by ArenaNet. Let's start with the easy one. Humans are almost guaranteed to be a playable race. Guild Wars 3 takes place roughly 1,000 years before the events of Guild Wars 1, during the height of human civilization and the early days of Ore. In fact, this era is arguably one of the most important periods in human history on Tyria. The trailer heavily focuses on Ore, human architecture, and the human gods, making it almost impossible to imagine a Guild Wars game set during this period without humans as a playable race. So, unless ArenaNet has a huge surprise planned, humans feel like the safest bet. The second race that stands out is the Kodan. Several shots in the trailer appear to show a large bear-like humanoid that strongly resembles the Kodan we've seen throughout Guild Wars 2. For years, Kodan has been one of the most requested playable races in the franchise. Guild Wars 2 expanded their lore significantly, especially through Janthir Wilds. What's interesting is that Kodan history stretches far beyond Guild Wars 2. Their civilization existed long before the modern era, meaning they fit perfectly into the Guild Wars 3 timeline. If ArenaNet wants a race that feels familiar while also being something players have never been able to play before, Kodan makes a ton of sense. Now let's talk about the race that has everyone confused. The small character seen in the trailer looks very similar to an Asura, but they don't look exactly like the Asura we know from Guild Wars 2. They're slightly different. Some fans have even joked that they look furrier or more primitive, and honestly, I think that's exactly what ArenaNet might be going for. Remember, Guild Wars 3 takes place roughly 1,000 years before Guild Wars 1. During this era, the Asura had not yet emerged as the technologically advanced race that we know today. The Asura spent centuries underground after being driven beneath the surface by the Elder Dragons. A version of the Asura that existed before generations of underground evolution could look noticeably different. Maybe they had more fur. Maybe their features were less refined. Maybe they were adapted to a completely different environment. ArenaNet has a unique opportunity here. They can give us a race that is technically Asura while still making them feel new and ancient. And honestly, that sounds pretty awesome. And now let's get to the controversial one, the Sylvari. At first glance, this seems impossible. According to Guild Wars 2 lore, the first Sylvari did not emerge from the Pale Tree until 1302 AE. The Firstborn were the very first Sylvari to awaken, including characters like Traherne, Kaith, and Falane. The Pale Tree itself was planted by Ronin and nurtured by Ventari. Over time, the tree became influenced by Ventari's teachings, which were preserved on Ventari's tablet. Those teachings helped shape the values and culture of the Sylvari race. So, if Guild Wars 3 takes place 1,000 years earlier, how could the Sylvari exist? Well, here's where things get interesting. Guild Wars lore has already hinted that the Pale Tree wasn't unique. One of the biggest mysteries in Guild Wars 2 was Malyck. Malyck revealed that he came from a completely different tree, not the Pale Tree that created the playable Sylvari. That means other Pale Trees, or at least other trees capable of creating Sylvari-like beings, have existed elsewhere in Tyria. And remember where Ronin found the Pale Tree seed? He discovered it among many similar seeds hidden inside a mysterious cave protected by strange plant creatures. Not one seed, many seeds. That single detail changes everything. If multiple seeds existed, then multiple trees could have existed throughout Tyria's history. And if multiple trees existed, who's to say that some version of plant-based humanoids wasn't already around long before the Sylvari we know today. Now here's my theory. I don't think we'll get the Sylvari exactly as they appear in Guild Wars 2. That wouldn't make sense lore-wise. But I could absolutely see ArenaNet introducing an ancient precursor race. Maybe they're descendants of another pale tree. Maybe they're connected to Mortimer's plant magic. Maybe they're an earlier experiment tied to the same origins that eventually led to modern Sylvari. This would allow ArenaNet to keep the popular nature race fantasy archetype while still respecting established lore. And honestly, ArenaNet loves taking obscure lore threads and turning them into major storylines later. The existence of multiple tree seeds and Malyck's mysterious origins give them more than enough room to do it. So if I had to guess today, my playable race lineup prediction would be Human, Kodan, Ancient Asura, a new race tied to ore, some form of plant-based race inspired by the Sylvari. Could I be completely wrong? Absolutely. But when ArenaNet says Guild Wars 3 is a modern evolution of the MMORPG, I don't think they're going to simply copy the Guild Wars 2 race lineup. I think they're going to surprise us, and honestly, that's what makes this reveal so exciting. So what do you think? Are the small characters in the trailer actually ancient Asura? Do you think Kodan are finally becoming playable? And is there any chance ArenaNet finds a way to bring a Sylvari-like race into Guild Wars 3? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Guild Wars 3 theories, lore discussions, and news coverage, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.